So let's talk about something that could totally reshape our digital lives, a concept called Web4. We're going to look at a brand new system called UIID and, get this, how it's connected to an offer for 100 gigabytes of free cloud storage. Let's dive right in. But, before we can jump into the future, we kind of have to talk about the present. We've all felt the frustrations of the current web, especially when it comes to who's really in charge of our personal data. I mean, does this sound familiar? You get that dreaded storage full notification, usually right at the perfect moment you're trying to capture. It's a frustration we all share, right? Forcing us to play this game of what memories do we keep and what do we delete, all because of some arbitrary limit set by a tech platform. But what if there was a completely different way to do things? A new model for the internet that actually puts you back in the driver's seat? Well, that's the whole promise behind what people are starting to call Web 4. If Web 3 was all about decentralizing our money and assets, Web 4 is the next logical step, decentralizing you, your personal identity, and your data. And it kicks off with something you can actually use: 100 gigabytes of free, secure, decentralized storage. A company called Linkspreed is basically putting its money where its mouth is, using this huge offer to launch its Web4 Cloud. It's a massive amount of space, and here's the kicker, without all the usual strings attached. So, and this is the really crucial part, this is about so much more than just getting free storage. This is about a fundamental shift in power. The whole idea behind Web 4 is something called data sovereignty, which is really just a way of saying that you, and only you, should own and control your data, your identity, your entire digital life. And the technology that makes this all possible, the key that unlocks this whole new ecosystem, is something called UID. It's the foundation that this whole vision of a user-controlled web is built on. Okay, so UIID stands for Universal Integrated Identity Decoupled. Yeah, it's a mouthful, I know, but the concept is actually pretty simple. It's a system designed from the ground up to get rid of passwords and completely change how we prove who we are online, putting you squarely back in control. Now, here's where it gets really clever. UIID basically splits your identity into two parts. First, you've got your core ID. Think of this like your digital passport. You only use it for super important, high-trust stuff, like financial or legal verification. Then, for everything else, you can create unlimited aliases. These are private pseudonyms for all your day-to-day browsing. And the most important part? These aliases can't be traced back to your core ID, so you get both rock-solid security and total privacy. So let's really break down what this digital passport actually does for you. I mean, it's about way more than just logging in. It's about a whole new set of tools for navigating the online world. First up is secure authentication. This gets rid of vulnerable passwords and replaces them with a much, much safer system. That security then enables the second point, true data ownership, which makes sure your files are cryptographically yours and yours alone. From there, you get existential portability, the freedom to just pick up your data and your reputation and move it anywhere, breaking free from those walled gardens. And finally, protecting all of this are verifiable credentials, which are a total game changer for privacy. And this is a perfect example of that last point. Using something called zero-knowledge proofs, you can prove a specific fact, like that you're over 18, without actually revealing the sensitive data, like your exact birthday. You only share the absolute bare minimum of what's required. I mean, that is a massive leap forward for personal privacy online. Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks. How does all this cool tech actually translate into you getting that 100 gigabytes of storage? Let's walk through the actual steps. Now, there is one important condition. To stop people from abusing the system and to make sure the network is stable and trustworthy for everyone, this offer is tied to your core ID. You have to complete a one-time KYC or Know Your Customer verification. This step just confirms you are a real, unique person, and it raises the level of trust for the entire system. The process itself is super straightforward. First, you just sign up and create your UID. Second, you complete that quick KYC process for your core ID that we just talked about. And that's it. Step 3, you instantly get your 100 gigabytes of free Web4 Cloud storage. Simple as that. So, when you take a step back and look at the big picture, you start to see that this isn't really just about one product or one free offer. It's about seeing a whole new direction for the internet starting to take shape. This whole concept is really a challenge to the old way of doing things, The model where our data is the product and our digital lives are basically managed by a handful of giant companies. The goal here is to give that power, that control, back to each and every one of us. So, with tools like UIID and these principles of Web4 starting to emerge, the ability to truly own your digital life is no longer just some abstract theory. It's becoming a practical choice that you can make. The only question left is, are you ready to claim it?